Imagine being on the edge of a huge ocean, with the horizon spread out in front of you forever. The sky is kissing the water. This ocean is a metaphor for your full potential and all the things you could do and be. But for many of us, this possibility stays just that, a possibility that we haven't fully explored because of our daily routines, social standards, and inner questions. Today we start our journey through these waters to find the genius that's hiding inside each of you. Can you see your true way through life? Have you ever felt like you were wearing a blindfold? Have you ever had doubts about your skills, or even worse, thought that people around you didn't believe in your dreams? You may have had failures and thought, maybe I'm just not good enough. These feelings of weakness and doubt are common, and they are not unique to you. Still, these problems we all face are what give us the most room to grow. The goal of this trip is not to change into a different person, but to find out what has always been there. What it's about is getting past self-doubt, social labels, and the noise of everyday life to find your real skills, interests, and abilities. Self-discovery is an old and important process that has been followed by thinkers, scientists, and people who are just naturally curious throughout history. Now it's your turn. The journey to find your secret genius is not an easy one. You need to be brave to face your fears, strong to get past the things that have been stopping you, and open-hearted to accept the parts of yourself you don't know yet. On this trip, you will change, and that change will help you come out fully into the light of your true potential. In the next few chapters, we'll talk about the myths that cloud our view of success, how thought can help us understand our inner wishes, and how important it is to get past both internal and external obstacles. We will talk about how social pressures shape us, how each of us has a secret strength, and how wonder and practice are the most important things for developing our inner genius. We will also connect with our inner selves by using the knowledge we gain from awareness and meditation to lead us. Through moving stories of change and the useful advice of teachers, we will learn how to use our skills in everyday life and see how living our genius can affect others. Allow yourself to feel the echo in your heart as you listen to these words. This is a trip for the soul as well as the mind. It's a challenge to go into the unknown parts of your own mind and find the riches that are hidden beneath the doubt and fear. You have a secret genius that is just ready to be found, developed, and praised. Let us go on this journey of learning, change, and ultimate happiness together. Are you ready to find out what you can really do? Are you ready to go deep inside yourself and come out with a better idea of what you can do? Now is the start of your journey to find the secret genius that lives inside you. Let's take the first step toward a future where your true self shines through and leads you to a life full of meaning, joy, and unmatched success. Chapter 1. Bringing out your hidden layers. When you read stories that say overnight success, it's easy to think that success comes quickly and with little work. This false idea, spread by stories of overnight fame and wealth, gives a false picture of the path to success. Myths about sudden success are just that, myths. They are like mirages in a desert of real success. This story skips over the years of hard work, the days of doubt, and the endless moments of hidden persistence that really lead to success. In this study, we go deep into this story to find the truth behind the curtain and the important lessons that can be learned from the long road to success. It's hard to deny the appeal of quick success. It comes from a deep-seated need for quick approval and a desire to avoid the hard, often boring work that real progress needs. This desire is made stronger by social media and the way the media selectively tells stories, focusing on the end result without showing the hard path that got there. But this skewed story doesn't do justice to how complicated human growth is, or to the real way to find and develop our secret genius. If you want to understand the idea of instant success, you must first believe in the 10,000-hour rule, which was made famous by Malcolm Gladwell. This rule says that you need to work hard for at least 10,000 hours to become an expert in any subject. This idea, which comes from studying people who are very good at what they do, stresses the importance of consistent hard work over time. It shows how important it is to keep going, be dedicated, and learn new things slowly so you don't even notice. The rule disproves the idea that you can be successful right away by showing how important it is to keep working at your skill. Figuring out what your secret genius is and making it better is like carving in rock. He is said to have told people who asked him how he did it that he saw an angel in the marble and cut until he freed it. This image does a great job of capturing what real success is all about. The angel inside the rock is your promise, your hidden genius. Finding and developing your skills isn't about adding something new. Instead, it's about getting rid of the things that are getting in the way, like doubts and fears that keep you from seeing your true self. You need to be patient, keep going, and have a strong belief in your own ability that is just waiting to be exposed. People who become famous overnight often don't talk about the nights they gave up things, the times they chose to work on their skill instead of having fun, or how they kept going even when they were turned down and failed. They don't take into account the fights fought in silence in one's mind, the constant learning and unlearning, or the determination to keep going even when things look bad. Putting these things together is what makes true genius. They stand in for the untold chapters of every success story, the depths below the surface of what seems to happen quickly. Another problem is that thinking you can become successful quickly can make you compare yourself to others and lose hope. When we compare our growth to other people's highlight reels, we are only setting ourselves up to be crushed. To find and develop our secret skills, we have to take a very unique and slow road. The journey happens at its own pace, giving each person lessons and insights that are unique to their own experience. Knowing the myth of instant success for what it really is allows us to be more involved in our own personal and professional growth. We learn to value the journey over the destination because we know that every step, every failure, and every small win is an important part of our growth. This view changes our attention from the end goal to the trip itself, which lets us enjoy the whole range of our experiences, including all of their ups and downs. As we move forward, let's let go of the idea that we can achieve everything right away and instead focus on the slow but satisfying work of getting to know ourselves and improving our skills. Let's enjoy the small steps forward, the small wins, and the hard work that keeps going. These are the things that lead to real success. By doing this, we respect our path to find our inner genius and know that the biggest accomplishments aren't made quickly, but over time with patience, persistence, and a strong dedication to our core goals. Chapter 2. Getting past obstacles inside yourself. The maze of the mind is where thoughts build complicated webs of belief and feeling. This is where the shadows of doubt live. These sneaky whispers, which are soft and constant, can make us lose confidence, become less determined, and lose sight of our true potential. Different kinds of doubt are like a wall that blocks our view of ourselves and our skills. It's something that everyone goes through, a battle that brings us together in our humanity, but separates us in our fears. This chapter goes into detail about what self-doubt is and how to get past it so that you can find your secret genius. Self-doubt isn't just a lack of confidence, it's a sign of greater fears, like failing, being judged, or not being good enough. These fears, which are often based on bad events or messages from society, create a story of being limited and not good enough. Doubt's power comes from its ability to make us believe this story, that we can't reach our goals or aren't worthy of following our interests. It changes how we see things, making us focus on our flaws and imagined failures instead of our strengths and successes. To get rid of self-doubt, you must first understand where it comes from. Many people start to question themselves when they are young and are fed it by criticism, comparison, and limited acceptance. It takes root in our minds when we say bad things to ourselves and gets stronger when we fail or are rejected. The first step toward freedom is to see these roots. It lets us question the truth of the worries that keep us up at night and the beliefs that hold us back. This asking isn't a one-time thing. It's a process of thinking about things again and again. One good way to deal with self-doubt is to learn to be kind to yourself. As part of this practice, you should be kind and understanding to yourself when you fail or feel inadequate, knowing that perfection is an impossible goal that doesn't need to be pursued. Self-compassion tells us to look at our situations not as things to judge and criticize ourselves for, but as ways to grow and learn. It changes our attention from what we don't have to what we can become, creating an atmosphere where our secret skills can grow and shine. Building up your resolve is another strong way to get over doubt. Being resilient means being able to get back up after a failure, change, and keep going even when things get hard. It is formed by going through hard times and failing, by facing our fears and getting past them. We learn that doubt, like all emotions, goes away when we become more resilient. It can be recognized, looked at, and finally gotten past. This understanding gives us the strength to act, even when we have questions, and to follow our interests with bravery and drive. The stories we tell ourselves about what we can do and who we are affect the limits of our potential. These stories are often based on limited beliefs, which are strong convictions that limit what we think is possible for us. These ideas hold us to a world that is much smaller than our true potential. They are like unseen bands that hold us down. To get past these limits and find the genius that's hiding inside us, we have to consciously find, question, and change these limited ideas into ones that help us. Beliefs that hold you back are like weeds in your mental yard. They grow from the seeds of past events, social rules, and cultural standards. They start to grow in our mind, just below the top of our knowledge. These ideas can show up as strong opinions about how smart, creative, worthy, or able to reach our goals we are. They say things like, "You're too old to learn, too young to succeed, or just not good enough." These ideas are strong not because they are true in and of themselves, but because we accept them as true. Being aware is the first step in getting free. We need to pay close attention to our own thinking and learn to spot the negative trends that show up when we have limiting ideas. When we are aware of this, it separates our thinking from who we are, showing us that our views do not define us. From this place of distance, we can start to question and challenge whether or not these beliefs are true. When we question our limited ideas, we have to look deeply into where they came from and the evidence that supports or disproves them. We have to ask ourselves, where did this belief come from? Is it based on facts or guesses? What experiences have made me more sure of this belief? Do these experiences show what I'm really capable of? This question often shows that our limited views are based on old knowledge, wrong ideas, or the fears that other people have put on us. When we question and look into these ideas, we start to loosen their hold on our minds. Creative rethinking is the process of changing limiting ideas into ones that help you. It means writing new stories about ourselves that highlight our skills, our ability to bounce back from setbacks, and our ability to grow. This doesn't mean we should ignore our flaws or mistakes from the past. Instead, we should see them as steps on the way to success. A mindset that gives you power doesn't ignore reality. Instead, it chooses to focus on opportunities and answers instead of problems and failures. Affirmations and visualizing are strong tools that can help you change. By picturing ourselves reaching our goals and telling ourselves good things, we start to change the way our brains work, which reinforces our new, powerful beliefs. Based on the ideas of neuroplasticity, this exercise shows us that both our brains and our views can be stretched and changed. Breaking free from limited ideas is both hard and freeing at the same time. It takes sticking with it, being kind to yourself, and being ready to accept doubt. As we let go of the fear and doubt that have been blocking our view, we start to see ourselves more clearly. We know that our secret genius is made up of our unique skills and strengths. We are now free to discover the full range of our potential. This recognition is not the end of the trip, but the start of a new one. Our journey to find our secret genius is one of freedom from the chains of limited beliefs. We learn more about ourselves on this trip, which gets us to a place where we can live honestly and follow our interests with confidence. When we let go of the chains of doubt and fear, we step into the light of our real potential and are ready to bring out the greatness that lives inside us. Chapter 3. The outside forces that shape you. We often have to navigate the rough seas of social standards on our way to finding our secret genius. Because they are shaped by societal rules and values, these unseen currents can pull us away from the real path of our own potential. To get through these rough seas, we need to be very aware of how these standards affect how we see success and happiness, and we need to be motivated to find our own way, following the direction of our inner truth. Being shaped by social norms, our personalities, goals and actions are all based on a standard pattern. We are told from a young age to judge our worth by things like how well we do in school, how well our careers go, how much money we have, and our social standing. These signs of success are not inherently bad, but when they are the only thing we use to judge our worth and potential, they can make us deeply disconnected from who we really are. Our secret genius is trapped in this gap of separation, which is covered by layers of conformity and obedience. So, the challenge is to tell the difference between standards that are in line with what we really want and those that are not. To be discerned, we have to question strongly held beliefs and ideals, which is not an easy thing to do. It asks us to think about what really makes us happy, not just what we're good at or what gets us noticed. Fulfillment is the light that leads us to our secret genius, revealing the skills and interests that connect us at our heart. To deal with society standards, we need to build a strong sense of who we are. We stay stable amidst the changing waves of social pressure because we know ourselves. It requires us to constantly think about ourselves and have a conversation with our inner and outer worlds. We learn to tell the difference between the noise of outside forces and the words of our own wishes through this conversation. This voice inside you talks in terms of happiness, interest, and drive. It tells us to look into things that interest us that might not be popular, and to take chances to find what really matters to us. It often takes bravery and strength to stick to our own way when society standards say otherwise. It could mean that the people around us will doubt us, criticize us, or even reject us. But it's exactly when we face and overcome these problems that we become strong and self-aware. Every step we take that goes against the norm is a step toward finding our secret genius. It's a statement that we have the right to define success in our own way and to live a life that is truly and uniquely ours. Dealing with social standards isn't just about ignoring outside forces, it's also about changing them. By being true to ourselves, we question the rules and ideas that hold people back. We become lights of opportunity, encouraging others to think about their own paths and look for happiness in ways other than the usual ways of measuring success. The result that changes everything is the spread effect of finding our secret genius. It shows how strong individuality can be in making big changes in society. Learning how to deal with social standards is a part of the process of finding our secret genius. We have to question, think about, and choose carefully the values and goals that guide our lives on this trip. It is a journey of bravery, being true to yourself, and change. When we set our own goals and follow them, we not only find our secret skills, but also help make the world a better place, where everyone is valued for who they are and their full potential is reached. In our search to find our inner genius, there is a deep and often overlooked trait at its core: resilience. This unbreakable spirit, the strength to keep going and do well even when things are hard, is what shapes us into the people we can be. Being resilient isn't just about getting through tough times. It's also about using problems as learning chances and coming out of them stronger, smarter, and more in tune with who you are. As a result, the secret to resilience is a key part of the journey of self-discovery and the final finding of our inner genius. People often think that resilience is a natural quality that people either have or don't have. The truth, on the other hand, is much more empowering. Resilience is a skill that we develop through our life's ups and downs, shaped by how we deal with pain, rejection, and failure. In the times when we are most weak, resilience gives us a choice: to hide in the darkness of doubt and fear, or to rise, learn, and move forward with new power and purpose. Accepting problems as a necessary part of the path to self-discovery is the first step in building resiliency. Each problem we face, every hurdle, is like a mirror that shows us parts of our character that need to be toughened up and grown. These tough times aren't just problems. They're actually chances to dig deep into our minds and peel back the layers of fear and training that keep us from reaching our full potential. By saying yes to these offers, we begin a process of change that frees us from the limitations of our old selves and reveals the genius that lies within. Mindfulness and controlling your emotions are two important skills that can help you become more resilient. Mindfulness teaches us to be aware of our thoughts and feelings without judging them. It also teaches us that we may not be able to change the things that happen around us, but we can change how we respond to them. When we are aware of something, it gives us a moment to choose how to react with kindness, care, and understanding. Emotional management, on the other hand, means controlling our feelings and changing automatic reactions into intelligent ones. Mindfulness and controlling our emotions work together to help us get through hard times with grace and drive. Connectivity is also a powerful way to build strength. Having ties with other people gives us support, motivation, and a different point of view. They also tell us that we are not going through our problems alone. These ties, whether they're with loved ones, teachers, or co-workers, give us strength and motivation, making us stronger when things get tough. They help us remember how valuable we are, what we can do, and how important our trip is. This gives us the strength to keep going, even when the road ahead looks scary. The key to being resilient is also to change how you think about loss. There will be failures and losses along the way as we try to find our secret genius. The key to being resilient is to see these things not as final verdicts on our worth or ability, but as lessons that we can learn from. Each mistake helps us learn more about our skills, weaknesses, and areas where we can improve, which brings us closer to our real selves. We can bring out our secret genius when we are open to loss and ready to try again after failing the first time. In the end, the path to finding our secret genius is about finding our strength as much as it is about finding our skills and interests. This resilience, the ability to stay strong and do well even when things are hard, shows how strong the human spirit is. And it's a warning that we all have an endless source of promise waiting to be found, developed, and honored. Let's keep going and remember the power of resilience. It's when we're going through tough times that our true genius shines through. Chapter 4. Bringing out your inner genius. Curiosity, the never-ending search for the unknown, the untapped, and the unexplained, is what drives new ideas and discoveries. It's the spark that starts the flame of research, which leads us down less traveled roads to find secret facts and hidden abilities. Embracing interest is not just an advice when it comes to finding our secret genius. It's a must. The only way to question the status quo, find out what our limits are, and see how far we can go, is to be curious. This chapter talks about what curiosity really is, how it helps you grow as a person, and how it can change your journey of self-discovery. The desire to learn, understand, and experience things over and over again is a sign of curiosity. Understanding that there is always more to learn, discover, and accomplish is at the heart of it. This understanding makes us want to go beyond what we think we can do and push the limits of what we know and can do. So, being curious isn't just about finding out new things. It's also about pushing ourselves, about going into the unknown with an open mind and a strong will. It's impossible to say enough about how important it is to be curious in order to find our secret genius. People who are curious are more likely to try hobbies and interests that are outside their comfort zones. It makes us want to try new things, even if we don't know what will happen. This curious behavior is very important for finding secret skills and interests. Often, our full potential is hidden in things we haven't thought about yet, or skills we haven't worked on. We follow our curiosity to these unknown areas, which show us what we could become if we dare to go further. Also, being curious helps people have a growth attitude, which is the idea that we can improve our skills and knowledge by working hard and being dedicated. The fixed mindset says that our skills and abilities are fixed and can't change. A growth mindset says that these things can change, letting our interest guide us to see problems as chances to learn and grow instead of as threats to our self-esteem. This change in viewpoint is very important for getting over the fear of failing, which often gets in the way of us finding our secret genius. When we put learning ahead of being afraid of making mistakes, we open ourselves up to a world of options, where each mistake brings us one step closer to finding out something new. Mindful observation and deep listening are also important skills for developing interest. We have to be in the present, fully connect with the world around us, and look for wonder in everyday things. This increased awareness makes us more sensitive to the subtleties of our experiences, which lets us find inspiration and insights in things that seem normal. We learn to see chances for creativity and innovation, find links between different ideas, and imagine new ways of thinking and being by observing with awareness. In addition, being curious is a brave thing to do. It forces us to think about strongly held beliefs, face the unknown, and give up the safety of the known in exchange for the chance to grow. Being brave doesn't mean not being afraid. It means being determined to act, even though you are scared. It's realizing that to find our secret genius, we have to go where no one has gone before and be okay with the uncertainty that comes with exploring. Being curious is a way of life, not just a trait. We want to find our secret genius because it's what drives us and a light that helps us through the darkness of doubt and fear. When we allow our curiosity to guide us, we start a journey of endless finding that takes us to the very limits of our abilities. So, let us develop a never-ending interest with open hearts and minds. because it is in the search for the unknown that we find out who we really are. Finding our secret genius is both a finding and a creation. It is only by practicing our skills and gifts on purpose and over again that we can shape our potential into success and new ideas. As a result, practicing is not just a part of getting better at something, it is the very base on which all other improvements are made. This chapter talks about how practice can change things, the rules that make it work, and how important it is on the path to finding and developing our secret genius. Basically, practice means doing an action or skill over and over again with the goal of getting better at it. It comes from knowing that greatness is not a gift that only a few people get, but a goal that can be reached through hard work and determination. The habit of practice recognizes that success is made in small steps. It sees every little step forward as a win in the bigger fight against mediocrity and stagnation. We can't say enough about how important it is to set up a practice routine if we want to find our secret abilities. When we first start to learn new skills or explore new interests, we might feel weird and fail. This is a normal part of learning, and it shows how brave we are to go beyond what we know. The habit of practicing gives you the structure and focus you need to get through this process and go from not being good at something to being good at it, and then to mastering it. We can only reach the fullest expression of our skills and discover the depths of our potential by consistently putting in effort over time. Intentionality, attention, and thought are some of the most important things that make exercise work. Setting clear goals for what we want to achieve through our practice is a part of being intentional. When the excitement wears off and the work gets hard, these goals give us direction and purpose, which keeps us doing what we're doing. When we focus, on the other hand, we give the job at hand our full attention, avoid distractions as much as possible, and become fully involved in the learning process. Along with this, reflection gives us a chance to look at our growth, be proud of our accomplishments, and find ways to get better. Practice also builds resiliency and grit, which are important traits for people who want to be the best. It teaches us to accept loss as a part of the learning process, not as a sign that we are naturally bad at what we do. This change in attitude is necessary to get past the failures and problems that come with pursuing any good goal. In this sense, practice is an exercise that builds character just as much as it builds skills. Practice is more than just getting better at something. It's also a way to learn more about yourself. By practicing, we learn what we like, what we're good at, and what we can't do. We figure out what interests us and what pushes us. Knowing ourselves well is very helpful because it helps us find the ways that are in line with our true skills and interests. Here, where desire, skill, and hard work come together, is where our secret genius shines through. Getting into the habit of practicing is a great way to find and develop our secret genius. You have to be dedicated, disciplined, and ready to deal with the pain that comes with change. But the benefits of being so persistent are huge. We not only become experts at what we're doing when we practice, but we also become more connected to our true selves when we do so. Let us then accept the discipline of practice, because it is only by making a pledge to always getting better that we can reach our full potential. Chapter 5. Getting in touch with your spiritual self. When someone wants to find out more about themselves and find their secret genius, they often go beyond the physical and the logical and into the spiritual. At its core, spirituality is a deep journey within, a search for meaning, purpose, and relationship that goes beyond the material things of life. Spirituality gives people a new way to look at themselves and the world, and it is often through this journey that they find the keys to their secret genius. In this chapter, the link between spirituality and self-discovery is looked at. It is shown how spiritual practices can help us find our inner skills and potentials. Spirituality is the search for a better understanding of our place in the world and a link to something bigger than ourselves. This goal supports a shift from a selfish view of life to one that sees everything as linked and whole. During this change, we start to see ourselves as they really are, not as separate things, but as important parts of a bigger, more complex web of life. Realizing this makes you feel humble and amazed, which are important traits to have on the path of self-discovery. It shows us that our secret genius is not just a prize to be found for our own benefit, but a gift to be shared and an addition to the well-being of all. Spiritual activities like prayer, meditation, awareness, and deep thought can help you find out more about yourself. These routines help us calm our minds, get past the constant chatter of fears and thoughts, and connect with the peace inside. We often have our deepest thoughts and discoveries when we are in this state of stillness. Mindfulness and meditation, in particular, make us more self-aware by helping us see our thoughts, feelings, and actions more clearly and objectively. This increased awareness is very important for finding the ideas, habits, and roadblocks that might be stopping us from finding our secret genius. Spirituality also stresses how important it is to be in line with your core ideals and purpose. It makes us think about the big questions like, who am I? Why am I here? What am I here to do? Looking into these questions isn't just a way to test your knowledge. It's a deep trip into ourselves that pushes us to get past our social training, ego-driven wants, and surface-level goals. With this kind of research, we start to find our true selves and the special skills and interests that make us geniuses. When we align our lives with these discoveries, we can be sure that the things we do and the decisions we make are not only satisfying for us, but also have value for everyone. We learn how important it is to accept and give up things on the spiritual path. We often face doubt, fear, and confusion as we try to find out more about ourselves. Faith in a higher power tells us that the world is controlled by a force that is stronger than our own problems and hopes. It takes a lot of faith to learn to give in to this force and trust the journey even when you don't know where it's going. It lets us see advice, coincidences, and chances we might miss otherwise, which brings us closer to our secret genius. Spirituality and self-discovery are deeply connected and have many layers. Being spiritual gives us the tools, the viewpoint, and the knowledge to get through the difficult process of finding our secret gifts and potentials. It tells us that this trip isn't just about getting things done for ourselves. It's also about making connections, making a difference, and understanding our place in the bigger picture. As we become more involved in spiritual activities, we not only find our secret genius, but also a peace, satisfaction, and connection that goes beyond this world. Meditation and awareness become very useful tools when we're trying to find our secret genius. They help us connect with our inner selves more deeply and improve our instincts. These old techniques, which come from spiritual traditions but can be used in modern life, can help us tune out the noise around us and connect with the deep knowledge that lives inside us. This chapter talks about how meditation and mindfulness can help us become more self-aware, clear-headed, and find our hidden skills and interests. At its core, meditation is a deliberate way to focus the mind and get past the constant stream of thinking to a state of deep peace and clarity. When we are still inside, we can hear the words of our intuition. This is the voice inside us that leads us to our real purpose and potential. By meditating regularly, we create a place where ideas about our secret genius can come to the surface, without the normal noise and distractions of our minds. Meditation gives us a safe place to be ourselves and let out wishes, dreams, and abilities that we have been hiding or ignoring. Being fully present and involved with the present moment without judging it is a practice that is similar to meditation. It helps us become deeply aware of and accepting of our thoughts, feelings and experiences by teaching us to notice them as they are. Being more aware of our thoughts and actions is an important part of discovering ourselves because it helps us see trends that may point to our true interests and skills. Being mindful also makes our instincts stronger, which means we pay more attention to the small signs and feelings that point to our inner interests and desires. Meditation and awareness can be used in everyday life by starting with easy-to-do exercises. Setting aside a few minutes every day for mindful observation, quiet thought, or being aware of your breath can help you learn more about yourself. You don't need a lot of time or special conditions to do these practices. They can fit into your daily routine and provide a place of peace and insight in the middle of chaos. As we practice awareness and meditation more deeply, we may run into pushback in the form of restlessness, doubt, or anger. But this resistance is a good teacher because it shows us the mental and emotional blocks that are getting in the way of our self-discovery. By being compassionately aware of and accepting these challenges, we learn to rise above them, which makes us more open to the insights and discoveries that these practices bring. Meditation and awareness also make us more open, ready to study the parts of our minds we don't fully understand. This openness is important for finding our secret genius because it lets us look at our skills and goals with interest and without judgment. This makes us want to try out new things, be brave, and enjoy the process of finding with a sense of possibility and excitement. As we look for our secret genius, meditation and awareness can help us a lot. They help us understand ourselves better by boosting our instincts and showing us the unique skills and interests that make us who we are. By doing these things, we not only find our natural skills, but we also develop a sense of peace, balance and satisfaction that makes our trip more meaningful. Let's see awareness and meditation as keys to the vast riches that lie within. Let's start on a road of self-discovery that leads to the full expression of our secret genius. In Chapter 6, The Journey of Change, we can learn more about how to find our secret genius by reading the stories of people who have been there before us. These stories of change are not only sources of motivation, but also real-life examples of the potential that we all have but don't use. These stories show hope, strength, and the unbreakable human spirit through the struggles people face, the problems they solve, and the wins they achieve. As we look into what transformation really means, this chapter looks at how human stories of change and growth can help us find and develop our secret abilities. Transformation stories are powerful because they touch on things that all people go through: the fight against hardship, the search for identity, and the search for meaning. They remind us that the path to finding our hidden genius is not a solo journey, but a shared one with shared goals and challenges. We can feel hopeful and determined when we hear about someone who has gone through the difficult process of self-discovery and come out on top. It gives us hope that we can grow, that we can make changes, and that our hidden potential can be fulfilled. Even though every change story is different, there are some themes that keep coming up. These themes represent the steps of the road to self-awareness and self-actualization. People in these stories often have a aha moment when they realize that their current life is not in line with who they really are or what they're capable of. This awakening can be caused by a disaster, some deep thought, or a meeting that makes you question what you think and believe. That's when the journey inward starts. That's when the search for the hidden genius starts. As the story goes on, the main character faces problems and failures, as well as pressures from the outside and questions from within. These problems are like crucibles that test their determination, toughness, and will to keep going even when things get hard. It is in the process of getting through these problems that change happens. The fight is where strengths are made, flaws are faced, and real abilities are found. In this part of the trip, the person tries new things, learns new skills, and grows as they discover new paths and slowly shed the layers of fear and doubt that have been hiding their genius. In stories about people changing, the most important part is often a breakthrough or epiphany, a clear moment when the person fully accepts their true self and potential. Not only does this discovery make you aware of your skills, it also makes you accept your whole self, flaws and all. It means moving from trying to be someone else to enjoying being yourself, from looking for approval from others to finding happiness inside. Transformation stories end with a phase of integration, where the person learns how to live in harmony with their newfound genius. During this time, the person feels like they have a purpose and are going in the right direction as they use their skills in useful ways that help themselves and others. It shows how accepting your secret genius can change your life, not just as a way to improve yourself, but also as a way to live a more real and satisfying one. Talking about and honoring these stories of change gives us both motivation and useful advice. In order to find our secret genius, we have to face many challenges, but these tasks are not impossible to reach. Our journey, with all its ups and downs, is a beautiful and important part of becoming who we are meant to be. They tell us that we are not alone in our problems. Let us keep these stories close to our hearts as we continue to search for the secret genius within. May we find strength and inspiration in the journeys of those who have gone before us. Let their changes serve as a reminder of how we can grow, change, and find ourselves. To find and develop your secret genius, it can be helpful to get advice, support, and direction from people who have been through similar experiences of self-discovery and change. There are many types of mentoring, but one of the most important things that they all have in common is that they help people find their way through the rough seas of personal growth and remind them of their own worth and potential. The main idea of this chapter is that mentoring has a huge effect on our ability to find and develop our secret skills. It focuses on how these relationships help us grow, keep going, and reach our full potential. Mentorship is more than just sharing information or skills. The connection is based on trust, respect, and growth for both sides. With their many years of experience, knowledge, and understanding, mentors are like mirrors that show us our secret strengths and areas where we can improve. As a result, they push us to think about what we think we know, face our limits, and leave our safety zones. With their help, we are urged to go to unknown places inside ourselves and find skills and interests that have been dormant, waiting for the right time or insight to come to light. There are many ways that mentoring can help us find our secret genius. As you learn more about yourself, your mentor will show you the way by sharing their own experiences and lessons learned. They give people who are going through personal or professional growth a way to deal with problems by giving them methods and points of view that may not be obvious at first. This advice is very helpful, not because it gives us ready-made answers, but because it gives us the tools to find our own answers, improve our problem-solving skills, and build our resolve when things go wrong. Additionally, teachers help bring about change. Their faith in our abilities can be a strong motivation, pushing us to keep going even when things go wrong or when we doubt our own abilities. When you combine this outside support with your own desire to improve yourself, you have a powerful force for change. It pushes us forward and tells us to keep looking for our secret genius, even when the path gets hard. With the help and guidance of a guide, we can go from giving up on our goal to achieving new heights of personal success. Mentorship also builds a sense of responsibility, which is an important part of growing and discovering yourself. It can motivate us to take action when we know that someone cares about our progress and wants us to reach our goals. Being responsible for our actions helps us stay focused and inspired, so we stay dedicated to the often hard work of improving ourselves and developing our talents. Mentorship has benefits for everyone involved, including the guide, the student, and the group as a whole. Mentoring someone on their journey to self-discovery is rewarding for the guide, as it gives them time to think, learn, and grow as a person. A mentee's connection with a mentor gives them help, information, and ideas. All of these mentor-mentee connections work together to create a culture of learning, growth, and mutual support. This creates places where secret minds are found, encouraged, and praised. Mentorship is one of the most important things we can do to find and develop our secret abilities. It helps people grow personally and professionally by giving them direction, inspiration, responsibility, and support. Let's find teachers who can help us, push us, and encourage us to reach for the heights of our secret genius as we continue to feel its depths. In the same way, let's be willing to be teachers to others, sharing our knowledge, experience, and support, and doing our part to keep the circle of growth and finding going. Part 7. Making the most of your genius. To find and develop our secret genius, the path is not just about the times of realization or the peaks of success. A lot of thought went into how we can use these ideas and skills in our daily lives. When we integrate what we've learned, those fleeting moments of understanding turn into long-lasting changes in how we live, work, and connect with the world around us. Today, we're going to talk about how to use our newly found skills in real life so that our secret genius not only guides us, but also makes our everyday situations better. The first step in the process of integrating is to take a close, honest look at our present habits, routines, and goals. Our secret abilities can be best shown and used in certain areas, which this test helps us figure out. For some, this might mean picking up new hobbies or activities that fit with the things they've learned they love. For others, it might mean making a change in their job path or looking for ways to learn more and improve their skills. The important thing is to find places where our skills and daily tasks fit together, making room for our genius to grow. To use our skills in everyday life, we need to rethink how we spend our time and what we commit to. Lots of the time, our plans are full of things we need to do, but they don't leave much time for artistic expression or personal growth. By putting things that connect with our skills and interests at the top of our list, we can make time for them to grow and be expressed. Setting aside time every day to practice, learn, or just look for new ways to use our skills in our personal and work lives could be part of this. Also, putting our skills to use in everyday life is not something we do alone. That means putting together a group of helpful people who share our goals and hobbies. This group can give us support, comments, and chances to work together, which will make it even easier to live out our secret genius. Making links with people who are going through the same things we are can help us grow and have a bigger effect. This can happen through online platforms, neighborhood clubs, or personal networks. Having an attitude that is open to learning and changing all the time is another important part of using our skills in everyday life. What we're good at and what we're passionate about changes as we grow and as the world around us changes. Being open and interested in new things makes us more likely to take advantage of new chances, to use our skills, and to grow in ways that are in line with our deepest values and goals. Lastly, using our skills in everyday life means making a promise to share our gifts with other people. When we finally find our secret genius, it has the power to not only change our lives, but also make our towns better places to live. Sharing our skills, whether it's through mentoring, art, or service, is a strong way to show how valuable they are and to celebrate what we bring to the world as individuals. Finding our secret genius and developing it to its best potential happens when we use our skills in the normal course of our lives. This process of merging is always changing and needs to be thought about, planned, and done in a group. Using our skills in our daily lives, relationships, and activities not only makes us happier, but it also makes the world a better, more interesting place to live. Finding our secret genius and using it in our daily lives isn't just a way to feel good about yourself. They set off a chain reaction that affected many more lives than just our own. It's amazing how sharing our unique skills and interests can spark inspiration, motivation, and change in our communities and beyond. This highlights how our paths are all linked. Living in harmony with our secret genius not only changes our own lives, but it also shines a light of possibility and hope for others. This chapter goes into the heart of the ripple effect. The idea of motivation is at the heart of the spread effect. When we bravely reach our full potential and share our skills with the world, we show others how powerful truthfulness and purpose can be. People see themselves in our stories, obstacles, and victories, which remind them of their own greatness and potential that sits hidden inside them. This inspiring effect is strong because it can spark others' interest, confidence, and action, pushing them to start their own paths of self-discovery and happiness. Living our genius also has a positive effect on the world because we make positive contributions to our neighborhoods and to society as a whole. Every skill shown and every idea brought to life makes the human experience better as a whole. We can solve problems, improve culture settings, and speed up progress by using our unique skills, whether they are in the form of art, technology, caring service, or thoughtful leadership. This addition is an important part of the ripple effect because it shows how matching your life with your inner genius can really help you. The spread effect also makes people feel like they are part of a group. By talking about our experiences and skills, we make room for working together, helping each other, and growing as a group. These groups, which can be based on shared hobbies, goals, or problems, become places where new ideas and changes can grow. They make us feel like we belong and give us support, which reinforces the idea that our journey to find our secret genius is both deeply personal and deeply connected to the bigger fabric of human effort. Being our secret genius also questions and broadens society rules and standards. It supports an honest culture where different skills and ways to find happiness are valued and praised. This change in culture is very important for making society more open, helpful, and active, one that values each person's unique talents and pushes them to find and share their own potential. The effect of living one's genius on others is a strong example of how our individual and group journeys are linked. This shows how following our dreams and giving our skills can motivate others, make the world a better place, and build a sense of community and belonging. This knowledge makes our search for and use of our secret genius more important. It makes it seem like we're not just on a personal journey of success, but also a part of a bigger story of human growth and promise. As we approach the end of this journey and think about the steps we've taken to find and develop our secret genius, it becomes clear that this adventure is much more than a search for personal growth or achievement. It's a journey to the center of what it means to be fully human, to live a life full of meaning, love, and deep influence. This last part tries to sum up the main points of our research by connecting the themes of finding, change, and contribution that make up the path of living one's secret genius. At the start of the trip, we were asked to go on a deep journey of self-discovery that would push us to face our fears, doubts, and the limiting beliefs that have kept us from reaching our full potential. Through self-reflection, perseverance, and curiosity, we explored the depths of our inner worlds and found the skills and interests that were hiding in the shadows of our minds. This process of finding wasn't something we did by ourselves. We had teachers, friends, and the stories of people who had been through this before us to help us along the way and give us support. As we learned more, incorporating our newly discovered skills into our daily lives became one of the most important steps on the trip. The abstract becomes real through this integration. It's here that promise turns into action, and our secret genius starts to show up in real, powerful ways. The story shows how powerful it is to be in line with who we really are and bring that unity into our relationships, at work, and in our neighborhoods. Living our genius has a ripple effect that shows how our individual journeys are linked to the bigger picture of human experience. We all add to a source of motivation, innovation, and change by showing off our unique skills and sharing them with the world. This gift shows how much of an effect each of us can have when we live our lives honestly and follow our hobbies with guts and confidence. At the end of the day, finding and living our secret genius is a constant process of learning, growing, and making a difference. We are being pushed to keep growing, to be open to the unknown, and to leave our mark on the world in ways that are truly our own. As we go on with our lives, let us remember the things we learned, the people we met, and the ideas that gave us hope. Let us remember that when we find our secret genius, it has the power to change not only our own lives, but also the lives of others, sending changes that reach far beyond our own. To find and live our secret genius, we must first take steps toward a more genuine, satisfying, and significant life. This is a trip that everyone can take, and it all starts with a single step, led by the light of their own inner truth. As this part comes to a close, let us move forward with renewed purpose and desire, knowing that each of us has a secret genius waiting to be found, developed, and shared with the world. Are you ready to move forward?